Good morning, this is Sheila. I was asked to do a video on how to do a junk journal, just a simple basic junk journal. And this is going to be a group project in one of the Facebook groups I belong to. And so I just did this simple journal. I mean, it looks like it's really complicated, but it's not. So it measures 8.5 by, I forgot to write that down, by 4.25. So it's about the size of a traveler notebook, if you're familiar with traveler notebooks, inserts. I actually, for the cover, I actually used a placemat that I got at the dollar store, and I cut it down, and I'm going to explain all the sizes. I'll even write them down and have them in the comments so that everybody can write them down, and then get everything ready and things, you know, get all your stuff ready and then watch the video as you're creating it. So I'm just going to go through this really quick, just to show you what we're going to be working on, and then I'm going to show you step by step. So I know a few people were kind of shying away from joining the swap, but I'm hoping that by watching this video you won't be like intimidated by it, and just have fun with it, because junk journals, you know, people save their scrap mail and a whole bunch of things to put into them, and there's really no wrong or right way. So again, this measures 8.5 by 4.25 when it's folded. I have about 10 pages folded in half, which come to 20. And I know this looks really complicated, this fringe, this eyelash trim, I love it. I can't stop playing with it, but it's not hard. I didn't use a sewing machine. It's all by hand, and it's real simple, and don't worry, I'm going to show you. The closure is just some seam binding that I dyed. You don't have to use seam binding. You can use string, ribbon, whatever you like. Okay, so I'm just going to go through it really quick, and then I'll explain step by step. So on the inside cover and on the back side, I added a pocket, a simple pocket, so you can put tags or whatever you like, and I just decorated with a couple flowers. And then the inside pages, I made a cover for my little booklet just with some paper, and I used, actually I'll show you the paper pad I used. I just got this at Michael's, and it's the primrose stack, and this was 50% off, and it's really pretty. So if you want to know where I got that paper from. So all my pages are coffee dyed. For this, I'm not going to show you how to coffee dye pages this time, because I don't want to make it any more complicated. I will do a video in the future if somebody would like to see how I do my coffee dyeing. But you can use all kinds of paper. So I'm just going to flip through really quick and just show you what I did. I did a little stamping. I added some little tuck spots, and all these came from that same paper pad. So here's another little tuck spot. So I didn't make it too complicated. Later I left, sorry, a lot of pages blank for journaling, and this is just like a sample. Here's the inside, the middle. So you see, it's not, I didn't make it too complicated, because this is a beginner tutorial. So piece of paper. Okay, and this is the back of that, and then another pocket with some more tags. And my closure, like I said, is seam binding. You can use rope, you can use string, you can use ribbon, whatever you have on hand. And I did add some eyelets, but you don't even have to do that, especially if you use these placemats. They're really sturdy and they're not going to tear. Okay, so I'm going to put that aside. So the first thing you want to do is you want to take your mat, take your cardstock, whichever you want to use. I just chose this mat, and you're going to cut, the cover is 8.5 by 8.5, and I rounded the edges, but you don't have to do that. You can leave them square. I just like that the edges round. So that's the cover. And like I said, when I'll have all the measurements in the comments below, or I can even try to upload a project sheet. I don't know, we'll see. So this is the front cover, this is the inside. Now I can leave it like this, but it's too plain for me. So for your inside cover, you're going to need 2 pieces of cardstock or paper, whichever you choose, that measure 8.5 by 4 1/8. And you're going to glue this to your inside cover. Glue. And when you're working, I always tell people on my tutorials, if you're going to use double-sided tape, which I really like double-sided tape, but when it comes to these junk journals or mini albums, I rather use glue, because especially if you live in an area that's really humid, that double-sided tape does not stick well. So all I do, I'm going to add some glue and lay down my inside pieces. And if you have a burnishing tool, you can use that. I'm just going to use this to smooth out that glue. So that's one side, and then we're just going to do the same for the other side. Now placemats are a little bit, what's the word I want? They're kind of stiff, so I laid my covers like under a heavy book to try to keep them closed, but they're sturdy. So, and then, you know, if you spill something on the cover, you're not really gonna care, because it's not gonna ruin it. But that's if you don't put anything on the cover. But it's really sturdy. Alright, so that's the decorative paper. See how it's, I can even do this and it comes right back. But, oops, I guess I didn't put that down. See, you gotta be careful that mine overlapped a little bit. But that's alright, because you can just go and trim it off. Okay, so now we can do the pockets, inside pockets. Just want to make sure that paper's down. Okay, so now your inside pockets measure 4 1/4 this way and 5 inches the long way, and then you're going to score it 1/4 inch on either side. If you don't have a score board, you can just use a ruler and a sharp, not a real sharp, a dull, and just go along with your ruler. You're going to need 2 of those. like that. Now if you want to use ink along the edges like I did in the other journal that I showed you. I inked the edges on my pages and things. You can do that also. And because my corners are round, before I lay my pocket down, I'm going to round off one corner. And do the other side while I'm at it. You don't have to round your corners off if you're not making your cover rounded. Alright, so that's done. So now I'm just going to glue these just like that. And I always say again, use glue for your pockets because you do not want your tickets or tags or any of your ephemera to stick to the double-sided tape, because that actually doesn't really dry. It stays sticky. So I always use glue on my pockets. Okay. Oops, I forgot to trim off my corners up top here. Okay, now I'm gonna add some glue. Now, I fell in love with these junk journals real quick. I'm always looking for new things to try, and I watch videos all the time, and I came across videos about junk journals. I mean, I did a few mini albums which I really enjoyed, but then I saw the junk journals and I'm like, oh my goodness, I just love that because I love old looking things. Okay, so now there's two pockets. So before I go any further, okay, where did I put it? Oh, here it is. I'm going to mark where I want my holes, and I put it about at 4 inches from the top. You could even, well, I'm not going to say that because I don't want to complicate things, so I'll just stick to the basics here. I can always do another tutorial. Alright, so now you're going to punch a hole, and that's where your ribbon, string, whatever you decide is going to go. Now I'm using my big bite. Okay. So you can put eyelets in if you like, but for this video I'm not gonna, because for this material, if you decide to use the placemat, it's not gonna tear because it's really sturdy. Alright, so now the pages, the cover aside, the pages are 8 1/4 by 8 1/4. They're just a tiny bit smaller. And also I made an inside cover the same size, 8 1/4, 8 1/4. You don't have to make an inside cover. You could just do pages. It's all up to you. And you're going to need, like, including the cover, 10 pieces of paper that are cut 8 to 8 1/4 by 8 1/4. Here I have some typewriting paper. I have some, what do you call that paper? Oh my god. I have a brain freeze. But as you can see, I have a lot of different types of paper. And these I haven't coffee dyed. because I can show you how to do that in another video. So I'm going to count out 10 pieces, including the cover. So I got 4, that's 5, let's see, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So I also have a couple pieces of pattern. This came from a pattern book, and I just cut it down. So there's 10 pieces. You're going to fold each one in half, and it doesn't matter really, unless you have line paper. Like say, you can fold it this way, or you can fold it that way. It doesn't really matter because it's the same size. Okay. Now, count 10. I have some graph paper, I have some line paper, I even have a piece of music paper. So that just gives you an idea. Here's a music, I got this book, a music book from the thrift shop for like $2. So, alright, so now count out your pages, and then before you put them together, make sure you round the corners on your pages. Just the outside corners, you know, not near the folded edge, the outer edge. Probably should have did this part before I did the video. Boring. I don't like to speed up my videos like a lot of people do. I don't like it when they speed up what they're doing, because sometimes you have to go back and re-watch what they're doing. I like to do things in real time, and if the video's taking too long, I just do a part 2. Alright, so now all your edges are rounded. So now you're just going to count 10 pages. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so that's about 10 pages. You can do more if you like, but 10 is what we're working with for this tutorial. Okay, so now you got to attach this to the inside, to the cover. So what we're going to do, I'm going to open this up to the middle. Where is the middle? Okay. Open it up to the middle, and I'm going to take two of these. I'm going to put one on one side like that, and you want to put another one on the other side to try to hold the pages together, just like that. Now you need 5 holes, and I think I'm going to do it on the outside. So lay your ruler down. Let's see. You're going to need 5 holes evenly spaced out. My battery died, so I'm hoping I'm alright though. Okay, so getting ready to punch the holes. And I mean, not, yeah, punch the holes. What am I talking about? And I am using the 1/8 hole. Come on. Okay. So, I'm just gonna, you can use, like I said, a regular punch. And I'm punching it right on the fold line the best I can. Hope you're able to see, you know, getting the idea. Okay, so now my 5 holes are punched. So now what I'm going to do, get my cover. And if you have a design on your front, on your cover, on your this cover, make sure you place it the right way, not upside down. So I'm lining my pages inside, try to make them even where you want them, into the crease. Make sure they're into the crease. And what you do is take a pen, grab a pen. Actually, you know, just take one piece, like just take your cover and kind of like lie that in there where you want it. And just take a pen and mark the hole. Okay. So now you're going to punch out these holes. I kind of missed the crease, but where I should have probably did it on this side, but where your holes, make sure you punch on the crease, like have on the crease, not on the side, because then your book's not gonna fold right. Hopefully I explained that good enough. I gotta move the lights a little bit, sorry, because I can't really see where I'm punching. I should have did it, you know what? I think what I'm gonna do, because I'm having trouble seeing on the inside of the cover, I'm gonna try to mark my holes on the outside because I'm having trouble seeing it on the inside. So I'm just gonna make a little mark. Okay. So now because I'm using placemat, it's a little thicker, and probably it's going to be harder to punch through with an awl or a regular punch, because you could probably put all the cover and all your pages together if you had a strong enough tool to punch through everything. Alright, so that looks pretty good. So now I have my 5 holes. So now I am going to get my pages and line them up with those holes. And I'm going to use my clips again. One on one side. And one on the other, just to hold it together. Okay, so now that they're lined up the best I can get them, No clue what that is. Okay. All right. So now I used eyelash trim on here. I found that at a thrift shop, but I'm not going to use that on this one because I want you to be able to see what I'm doing a lot better than if I used the eyelash trim. So I have a piece of this. This is some braiding cord, and I got this at I think it was Michael's. Some braiding cord. You can use string, you can use elastic. I mean, I even have this small elastic you can use yarn, whatever you like. If you do, I have this needle here. It's actually a yarn needle that you use for like plastic canvas things. I don't know if you're know what plastic canvas is, but I use this big needle to thread my string. If you don't have a needle, you can put a piece of tape on the edge because you don't want this to, you want this kind of stiff so it's easier to get in. I use a piece of tape. You just kind of put a piece of tape on the top to make it stiffer. Okay, so now I'm just going to put a little bit of the string inside the needle, and what we're going to do, we're going to start on the inside. You can start on the inside or you can start on the outside. Whichever, if you want your, like I did, I started on the outside because I wanted this fringe look on the outside. But for this purpose, we're going to start on the inside, I guess. It's just easier. So what you're going to do is you're going to go in the middle hole. And if you can hold the string with your finger as you're sewing, or you could put a piece of tape, washi tape, to hold it, but hold it down, and then we're going to start turning the book around, and we're going to go into this hole here and pull it through, just like that. And my arm is cramping. Alright, so I'm having trouble with my arm. Oh my goodness. Sorry. I can't hold that like that. My arm's going to cramp. So I'm just going to put a piece of washi tape just to try to hold that so it doesn't slip out of the hole. So we went down into this hole. So now we're going to turn around and we're going to go into this hole. Just like that. And come up. So now we're going to go down, back down into this hole. I don't know if they call this the pamphlet stitch or not, but this is just a stitch I used. I never watched a video. This is just what I'm doing. So now we're going to come back up into the middle hole. Like that. And we're going to go into this hole. Just like that. And then we're going to go into this hole here. Just like that. And then turn around, we're going to go back down into that hole. Okay. So now, what we're going to do is cut some excess off. Take this apart. And do this. And we're just going to tie these two ends together. Not a real tight knot, but tight enough that pages are held together. Just like that. Now you can leave the length like this. You can add some beads, or I've seen people add some paper hearts. Trying to make them even. But you can leave them on the inside. Just like that. Alright, so now your pages are in your book. And that's what it looks. Not too hard, I don't think. So now all your pages are in, your pockets are in. So now all you have to do is decide what you're going to use for a closure. And you know what, that's one thing I forgot. Well, I have some extra here, the seam binding, and I can even show you how I did this seam binding because I dyed it. But the next thing is to add something to close your book with, your journal, sorry. So I'm just going to put a simple little knot. Do one on the other side. Okay, and you can trim how short you want it. Would help if I had sharper scissors. Alright, so then just tie a bow, simple little bow. Okay, so that's the basic setup. Now you're ready to decorate, and the next video, that's what we'll do. I'll gather a few things together. I mean, we're not going to decorate extravagant, but I'll just give you a couple ideas how to decorate. So while you're waiting for the video, the decorating part, just gather things like scrap paper, scrap lace, fibers, mail envelopes, anything like that, because anything old you can repurpose it in these journals. Old stamps, anything that you know, things you get in the mail, instead of throwing them away, save them, as long as they don't have an address on them and things. But you can use old bags, paper bags, napkins, excuse me, lace. At the dollar store they have this stuff here. You could use this. It's like burlap stuff. Use that. Use paper flowers. Make your own flowers. But anyway, junk, any junk mail or anything, save it. That's what you use in these junk journals. Whatever you can find around the house. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I explained it, well. If you have any questions, just feel free to ask me anything. I'll try to help you as much as I can. But I hope this video helped you just for the basics. And thank you for watching, and have fun.